Welcome to SDH's coverage of everything going on in USL-W. We will take you backward and we'll bring you forward to let you know what's going on as we are now in playoff time when it comes to USL-W and how things wrapped up in the South Central and the South Atlantic and who is facing whom and how things are going to be going as we are now in the postseason. We'll go over the postseason numbers and get you ready for things on a Friday and a very, very busy weekend and how it will continue to grow very quickly in determining a champion in USL-W in 2024. So let's go back over the last 7 days in the South Central and the South Atlantic. Remember, South Central is Athens United, Chattanooga Red Wolves, SSA, Tennessee SC, Birmingham Legion, Greenville Liberty, and Asheville City. In the South Atlantic, it is South Georgia Tormenta, Fayetteville Fury, Wake FC, Charlotte Eagles, South Carolina United Bantams, Carolina Ascent, North Carolina Fusion, and the North Carolina Courage U23. So going over the schedule from the last 7 days, take you back to the 29th at Protective. Birmingham Legion shuts out Athens United by the score of 3-0. At Wake Med, Courage put 7 on North Carolina Fusion. At the Southeastern Freightline Soccer Center, Carolina Ascent put 6 on the Bantams and won by 5, 6-1. And that gets us to our match of the week in the South Central. It is Asheville City and Tennessee SC, courtesy of our friends at Mystery Soccer Theater 3000, Asheville City's social media platforms, and the USL-W. What happened in this one goes a long way in determining hosts and top seeds in the South Central.
Middle of the pitch, Dwyer. Play on. And the ball in. It's a dangerous ball. It's going to be one-on-one. Little comes out, chipped over, and Tennessee breaks open the scoring.
And there was just a little too much space there. It seemed like Vieira maybe lost her mark. Let's take a quick look.
And that not good enough for Asheville City, who thought that there was a foul on Dwyer. Bounces up, held in. Here's Vieira. One touch, eyes up, sends one curling. Dominic knocks it in. Dominic cutting in front of her defender, gets ahead to it, just to the right of Devine, and ties it up at 1.
That's beautiful stuff from Asheville City. We were just talking about how well they've been doing. Great to see. That's a goal for Asheville. See if we can see what happened here. Service in.
That's an Asheville City goal.
And what the replay didn't show you was corner kick. Ball came back out to Vieira. She found an opportunity to hit it the second time. Asheville City on the scoreboard now.
Dominic
1-1.
Just cutting in front of the defender so well. Getting ahead onto a ball that was a little low. She had to duck down to get the header on. But Asheville's second shot on target finds the netting, and we're tied at 1. Searching ball. Is Cayerta, drops it off. One touch. Oh, it's just brilliant.
Gosh.
Arms up from Molly Dwyer, and what a 1-2.
That might be a contender for goal of the season, and
that's another Asheville.
man, I kind of wish I had the second camera running for that replay, but let's take a look again. The ball in. The ball in was perfect, and the one-time dish, and Dwyer making no mistake.
That goal scored in the 49th minute.
Asheville City up 2-1 on Tennessee. What a screaming shot from Dwyer.
Assist by Ilana.
Unbelievable.
Is Cayerta with the assist. Gordon comes in field, slides a ball, one touch is Cayerta. Oh! What a goal!
And I mean,
Asheville.
wow. Wow. Izquierdo already threatening to score a goal a few minutes ago. Took a touch there, and I mean, she took a touch and I wanted her to hit it. And then I think she took another touch and I was like, oh no, you're going to get swallowed up.
Gordon striding towards the box. A little loose on the touch. Oh yes, coming in, slides one back post. Oh, it's brilliant. Absolute brilliant. Carly Wetzel steps in.
The substitute making an impact immediately. Goodness, what a dominant win too. That's gonna feel. That's gonna feel really good for these ladies. And to be honest, to earn your spot in the playoffs, but do it in such a dominating fashion against the conference champions is going to have people wondering who they want to play in the playoffs. Do they want to face Asheville City, or would they like to face Tennessee City Soccer Club?
I would rather face Asheville City than Tennessee. This is a Tennessee club that until tonight, and they traveled after making 5 changes to their last side, and they only had 3 substitutes make the trip, as Little able to fall onto the ball.
Here comes the replay on that goal, by the way, real quick, just for you, because you can keep talking.
It's a definitive performance from Asheville City.
Then that sets up what's going on in Statesboro in the South Atlantic for that match of the week, South Georgia Tormenta and Fayetteville Fury. Once again, here's your highlights courtesy of our friends at Tormenta, their own selves, Sports Engine, and at USL-W.
Here's Smith up to Chokel. Evades her defender. Cuts along the goal line into the box. Drops it back to the penalty area. And Carlin scores! Looking to combine with Ellerby along the goal line. Standing on the sideline over there. Eads going to send this one into the box. Rousseau there on the receiving end. Passes it over to Carlin Presley and a goal! Feeding it up to Chokel. She's got 1 defender in front of her. Feeds it into Nemtsov. Fury defender comes in and clears that one out of bounds for a throw-in. Here's Smith on the ball. Back to Presley. Cuts inside the penalty area. And she scores from the other end. Great goal from Presley. That's a hat trick in the first half. Over to Eads. Looking to get into the box. Long shot. Into the goal!
Big one for South Georgia Tormenta. Great way for them to finish out their season. Also at CHI Memorial, a 1-1 draw between Chattanooga Red Wolves and the Southern Soccer Academy. And so SSA would wrap up on that note in the regular season. So that is it. And everybody else was in the barn to determine who was going to advance and who was going to finish strong but stay home when it came to these 2 particular conferences. So how it wrapped up in the South Atlantic, on top it was North Carolina Courage U23s at 34 points, 12 matches played. They only had the 1 draw as a blemish, giving up 6 goals all season for the U23 scoring 56 and 12. South Georgia Tormenta finished in 2nd place with 29 points with a record of 9-1-2. Carolina Ascent at 22 points, North Carolina Fusion at 21, Wake FC at 19, South Carolina United Bantams at 13. Charlotte Eagles had 1 win in 12. Fayetteville Fury did not win in the 2024 season. In the South Central, Tennessee SC ended up on top, and it was 29 points for them. Asheville City would finish at 26 points. Red Wolves at 18, Southern Soccer Academy at 16. Greenville Liberty would finish at 16 points as well. They would have 1 more win than SSA and an identical points per match average. Legion would finish with 13 points, and Athens United had the 1 draw in their season, and that one was with Asheville City. We had the highlights for that one for you last week. So that sets up your playoff picture, and in the playoffs themselves, it is Friday, Sunday, and it gets you ready for the remainder of the sprint to determine a champ in USL-W. Southern Conference playoffs, they are in Asheville, North Carolina. UNC Asheville. Asheville City is the host. And Friday afternoon, AHFC Royals and Tennessee SC would go at it at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We caught up with head coach Logan Foster at Tennessee SC to find out about everything going on with them as they made their way to Asheville for the Final Four. He's early and he's ready to go. He's on the Tom Coughlin scale. Tom Coughlin, the former head coach of the New York Giants, where when Tom Coughlin would do meetings, basically Tom Coughlin would be, if you're 5 minutes early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, then the door's closed and you can't come in. That's how Logan treats the interviews when he comes on with us here to break everything down in the USL-W, and we've had him on in the past, but it's great to have Logan on. We'll bring him in now. Coach, so how's Asheville?
It's great. Beautiful morning. A lot cooler than it was in Nashville. We're enjoying a girls went on a nice walk this morning with our athletic coach, and we're ready to go. So
when you look back at this season, And I will discuss the last matchup of the regular season as a part of this whole dynamic. But when you look back at this season on the whole, with what you've been able to accomplish as a group there, I know expectations are always high, but now that you've come out the other side of the regular season, have you had time to think about everything that how the players have continued to develop and grow and all that kind of stuff? How much thought have you put into the regular season and what you've accomplished to this point?
Yeah, I spoke to the girls after the last session before the playoffs, of just commending them on their professionalism, no matter my biggest job, not so much putting a team on the field, but can I create a consistent environment for the players? And just like every other USL team in the league, we obviously always get hit with some sort of inconsistency somewhere along the way, whether it's traffic on the way to a stadium or the silliness that can happen in summer football. So, certainly commend the players massively on their professionalism, no matter the environment, no matter the situation, no matter the quality of the field, the mile walk from the locker room, whatever it may be. They've certainly handled themselves well. As far as the good thing about creating that consistent environment here is, we've had a lot of chopping and changing of the lineup this year. Certainly not as consistent core of players. The spine has stayed the same, but we've rotated strikers. We've had to rotate centre backs multiple times, but they just gel immediately because, again, myself, my coaching staff, and what we're able to do as a club in creating that consistent environment and getting the girls. They always know what's expected, whether they're making their debut or whether they're 2-3 year returners with us. So season as a whole, extremely proud again of making steps forward. I think, the Asheville game, and I know we'll talk about it, was a small blip, but again, every year we want to improve. Every year we want to grow on the previous year and again, be, goals scored better than last year, goals given up better than last year, record better than last year. So, and feeling extremely confident as a group going into the playoffs.
All right, time to brag on your players a little bit. For those that haven't had the chance to see what you've been able to do this year, you're looking at players like Anna Haddock from Auburn, Alabama commit Maddie Podolsky, Vandy alum Tayana Tollison between the sticks. For those who haven't had the chance to see you and will be ducking in to see you the first time today, what should folks expect? Style of play and names to gravitate toward?
I'd like to say most fans enjoy watching us play football. We're certainly not a direct team. We can go direct if we need to, but, our midfield is, by far best midfield in the league. And again, not even, your Anna Haddocks, but Ryan Molinar, Keaton Mitchell. Ryan just came back to us from a stint in Austria. She played at Pacific University in California. Phenomenal technically. Keaton Mitchell going into her sophomore year at Tennessee. She's a TSC alumni. Again, phenomenal technical players in midfield. Got a little bit of grit to them as well. So love that. We can break up play and really get after teams if we need to be physical. But again, our style and, whether it's getting the ball out wide and taking players on or whether it's combination play through midfield, I'd like to think most fans, if they're new to watching us and today's their first exposure to TSC, will enjoy the way we play.
What's it been like for you to see TSC evolve and be this presence in the USL-W League that you are, considering that if you look at the power rankings, you've always been up toward the top. Folks are, gravitating towards you when they look at wins and losses and standings and position and things like that. What's it been like to see TSC grow to where it's garnering attention from a national scale in the USL-W League?
Probably my greatest accomplishment in the game, whether as a player or a coach, has been able to take this franchise to the next level. Hopefully I don't sound too confident in saying that, but I do believe not only the work that I've put in, but the work that my coaching staff has put in, the people I've been able to bring in, players and coaches, have done countless hours of work to get this franchise to the next level. We're still growing as a club. We know that. From a budget perspective, from a stadium perspective, from training ground. And again, as all that stuff is added to the franchise, we'll only get better with it. Because again, going back to what I said about creating a consistent environment for the players, the more consistent we're able to create, more consistency we're able to create for the players, they're only going to grow and be better and better and better. So, for us to be doing what we're doing in the power rankings in the conference with our budget, and we spoke about that the last time we spoke, we don't have the infrastructure of a Chattanooga, of a Indy 11, of a Lexington, of an Aurora. So for us to be able to do what we do and put up the results that we put up and play the way we play is 100% down to my coaching staff and the players. And as we add to the franchise, we're only going to get better.
Logan Fisher, the head coach at Tennessee SC, going to play AHFC Royals at 4 o'clock this afternoon. UNC Asheville's Greenwood Field, Southern Conference Playoffs. USL-W giving us a bit of a preview while he's catching a bit of a breather and having a bit of a sanity break, I guess. So sanity break, you come on and you talk about things on radio. What is the most difficult thing for you? You mentioned not having the same resources as a lot of the other big guns that you mentioned here in USL-W. What is the biggest challenge right now that you still face, even as you have taken this club to the next level?
Good question. I'd say, again, how do we create that environment of consistency for the players? That's a challenge every single day. We along with every other club in this league, so I can't complain about it, will always struggle to keep every single player available at all times. Whether I want the girls to be girls as well, right? Not everyone is a maniacal just addict to this game. So I understand that players want to go away and have little holidays. This year we had not so much that, but we had players get called up to the national team. That's difficult for us, but again, massive for our players and for our club. We had a couple of injuries, a couple bad ones that we obviously weren't expecting. Nobody does. So again, just creating that level of consistency. And as the franchise grows, I want to continue to give to the players and give them more of a professional environment. This is certainly a professional environment, don't get me wrong. What they get from us, from a training perspective, from a recovery perspective, is top notch. But you look at clubs like Greenville Liberty, for example, taking their players to hot yoga for recovery. I'd love to be able to do things like that. And again, that's going to be available now, right? We're growing the franchise. We're performing. We're at the getting national recognition. With that, sponsorship will come. With that, the ability to grow the infrastructure of USL at TSC will grow. We understand that. It was never going to be here's $2 million, go build a franchise. We had to, this was really a build from the ground up. And again, the countless hours from the staff, from, I have to shout out Dalton Kaufman, our USL director. The amount of hours he puts into growing this franchise is certainly recognized from not only the players, but myself and the staff. And again, we will only get better. Performances will bring attention will bring sponsorship and infrastructure, and we will kick on every single season.
Matchup tonight or this afternoon is 4 o'clock against a team that is one of the stingiest defensively in the USL-W League. They've only given up 4 goals all season. Strong back line. What do you see? What has Study Hall been like getting ready for this one, or do you just focus on yourself that much more now?
No, we're focusing on ourselves for sure. We're not going to change. We never change on the opponent. I'm not a big fan. Again, we only have these girls for 2.5 months. So how consistent can we create the environment? And again, we play the same way, no matter who we're playing, bottom of the table, top of the table. I think we're going to give them problems they probably don't expect. We've been able to do a lot of studying on them through our video analysis and through just being able to access more. Obviously, that conference have to thank them because they've done a great job of having televised events. So that makes our job a little bit easier. But we're certainly going to give them problems. I'd like to think our midfield is going to, today will be, are we good enough on the ball, and are they defensively able to take care of what we're able to bring in midfield? Because again, the way we play, the way we'll stretch them and pull them into places they're not going to want to defend will cause not only, we cause every team problems with that, but I don't know, based on what I've seen, will they be able to adjust to that? Hopefully not. But again, we know the tools they've got. We know they've got phenomenal players. They've got youth national team players in their squad as well. So certainly not expecting a blowout one way or the other. It's going to be a tight game, but I'm fully confident that we're going to come through and get move on to the next round. So.
The team after you, Asheville City, they're coming up after you to talk about things. What would be your scouting report for somebody who's going to be seeing Asheville City for the first time in the matchup after yours when they take on Florida Elite? What do you see?
Tough to play. Well coached. Very well coached. Very good in wide areas. That's typically where they've caused us problems. But again, it just comes down to, you can really, really tell that coaching staff has been able to, again, I'll say it for the 19th time today, create a consistent environment for them, right? They are very, very well coached. You can tell by their set pieces. You can tell by their patterns of play and the way they play. They're in the same boat as every team in the USL-W. They've had to rotate players. They've had to it's not the same 11 every single match. But you can tell that, again, top to bottom in their organization, they've been able to really preach and drill into them the way they want to play and the way they demand and expect results. And again, their play in wide areas is going to be tough for anybody to deal with in this run for the playoffs. So hoping they move on and beat Florida, because I'd love to have one more go at them for a conference title.
No doubt about it. As always, my friend, great to hear from you, and good luck this afternoon at 4 o'clock taking on AHFC Royals, first round of the Southern Conference playoffs. We'll be keeping an eye on you and catch up with you on the flip side. Thanks for dropping by the morning show.
Yeah, thanks, John. All the best.
Also on the board, Florida Elite Soccer Academy, and the nightcap takes on the hosts and Asheville City. So that would get you through the Southern Conference semifinals. Activity in the entire bracket. In the East, the Eastern plays the Southern. Eastern Conference plays the Southern. North Carolina Courage, Lancaster Inferno, Long Island Rough Riders, and Eagle FC. They are in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, playing each other in the Friday-Sunday setup. That's the right-hand side of your bracket. Left-hand side of the bracket, it is the Central, which is amazingly difficult at Keyworth, the home of Detroit City FC. They're hosting. And so it's Minnesota Aurora, Indy 11, Detroit City, and River Light. Your defending champ is going up against a USL-W League finalist in the opening round of the Central Conference. And the winner of that one gets the winner of Detroit City and River Light. Western Conference plays the winner in the Central, and that's got two separate locations on July 5th to set things up for the 7th. Davis Legacy Field in Davis, California, hosts the Battle of the Storms, Colorado and California. That's an 11 o'clock Eastern time start on your Friday night. And at CSU East Bay in Hayward, FC Olympia takes on Oakland Soul. That one is a 10 o'clock start, and that will determine who will be chasing after the Western Conference final and the Western Conference bid in the Final Four. Heading into the last days of the regular season, only half of the playoff spots were set. Colorado Storm was the only Western Conference team in the bracket. FC Olympia had won their 9th straight match to win the Northwest Division. Cal Storm got a win on the road to get the NorCal playoff spot. Oakland Soul got the last playoff spot, beating San Francisco Glens on last Sunday by the final of 3-1. Mid-Atlantic had Eagle and Lancaster get 3-0 wins to advance. They joined the Rough Riders and Courage, two teams coming back to the playoffs from last year. Asheville City's win, you heard that one earlier on in the show, got the Southern Conference wild card and the first ever playoff appearance. Central Conference was the only one that was really locked in. Reigning champs Indy 11 had their spot last week. Detroit City got their first playoff berth in league history back on Thursday. Minnesota Aurora and River Light. That was to get us to the round of 16 in the 2024 USL-W playoffs. After this weekend, we'll know the Final Four. We'll know the Western, the Central, the Eastern, and the Southern champs, and we'll figure out where we go from here in determining a champ in USL-W. So if you are in market on Friday and or Sunday and can catch any of the matchups, please do. See some of the tremendous talent that is on display in USL-W. If you're out of market, if you're in market, can't be there, follow along on social media and local providers. If you're out of market, can't be there, follow along on local providers and your favorite team's social media so you can find out what's going on as we trim from 16 to 4 by Sunday night. That's your go-round of everything SDH and USL-W. Thanks for dropping by. I'm just John. For everybody here at Soccer Down here in the SDH Network, play safe, everybody. Enjoy the games and enjoy the race to a title in USL-W.